What if 20 million trees didn't just fight climate change, but also cut crime rates? Sounds like a weird Batman origin story, but it's real science. Let's dive right in.
Trees, growers of fruits, spices, and nuts, generators of shade, home to birds, squirrels, koalas, frontline soldiers in the fight against climate change? You bet. Today we're doing something a little different and talking about TeamTrees.org's mission of planting 20 million new trees by 2020, where every donation of $1 equals one tree. You might be asking yourself, what would planting 20 million new trees do for the planet? Let's take a look at just how huge an impact each donation on Team Trees will make.
Planting 20 million trees sounds like a YouTuber stunt, because it kind of was, but the science checks out. Each tree can absorb around 48 pounds of CO2 per year when mature, so multiply that by millions and suddenly you've got a forest-sized air filter. Plus, trees aren't just carbon vacuums, they're basically Airbnb landlords for owls, bugs, and fungi. Imagine Earth's ecosystem as one big, messy group project. Trees are the kid who actually does the work.
A wide variety of organisms, from lichen to bees to possums, call trees home. And just one single mature oak tree can be home to as many as 500 different species. The Earth is rapidly losing species. We're in the middle of a mass extinction, and without trees for them to call home, many more animals will be at risk for extinction. Many animals require trees as a place to live, to feed, and to provide protection, so planting just one tree is like building a house, feeder, and nursery all at once. Donating $20 to plant 20 trees is like building an entire animal city. Multiply that by 1 million and we're talking about a super metropolis of biodiverse animal life.
That animal city metaphor isn't even exaggeration. An oak is basically the Sim City of biology. One tree equals hundreds of tenants, from owls in the penthouse to beetles in the basement. And yeah, extinction isn't just some distant dinosaur problem. We're in the middle of the 6th mass extinction, mostly courtesy of, well, us. So every new grove is like opening affordable housing in the middle of an ecological crisis. Imagine dropping a $20 bill and accidentally founding Squirrel Tokyo.
Study after study shows that spending time in a grove of trees or forest can provide emotional rejuvenation. It can improve your mood, create a sense of peace while reducing stress, depression, and anger. The Japanese even have a word for this: Shinrin Yoku, or forest bathing. The effect of trees is not only emotional but physical. Studies have shown that being among trees reduces blood pressure as well as lessens stress-related hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. So basically, trees make you happy. Plenty of scientific research has shown that happier people commit less crimes, especially violent ones. We think a grove of even just a few trees would be pretty nice. 20 million new trees would mean potentially thousands of new groves, which means millions of people able to take regular forest baths, increasing happiness and reducing crime. You'd be a regular crime fighter, all thanks to the trees you helped plant.
Forest bathing sounds like something out of a Miyazaki film, but it's legit science. Japan made it official in the 80s, prescribing walks in the woods like we hand out energy drinks. The wild part? Lower cortisol, lower blood pressure, fewer violent crimes. Trees are basically free therapy with leaves. Forget Batman, apparently the real crime fighter is a maple grove. Imagine Gotham with more oaks and fewer alleys. Suddenly Joker's just a guy doing yoga in the park.
Trees reduce air temperature through blocking sunlight and creating shade. Trees also help it cool by reflecting heat upwards from their leaves. Further cooling occurs when moisture evaporates from the surface of the leaves, just like the way your body cools down by sweating. Trees can cool down an area by a lot. And we're not talking just a couple of degrees. Urban neighborhoods with mature trees can be up to 11 degrees cooler in summer heat than neighborhoods without trees. Just think about the difference between a miserably hot 90-degree day and a warm, comfortable 79 degrees. Trees can also cool down buildings, limiting the need for air conditioning, which has the added benefit of helping to conserve energy. Studies have shown that shade from strategically planted trees can reduce the air conditioning costs of buildings by 20% to 30%. Just think, if an average home has a cooling power bill of around $100 per month in the summer, and if 10 trees were planted around that same house, then 30% could be saved. And that means 20 million trees planted around homes could save $60 million in energy costs. So if you can't donate to this particular cause, please consider planting a few trees around your house. Not only will they be a beautiful addition, but they might even save your future self some money on your power bill. Trees are ideal for use as sound barriers because they reduce sound in two ways. First, they absorb the sound, since thick branches and leaves are great at absorbing high-frequency noise. Secondly, trees deflect sound. When a sound hits a rigid material, material, it bounces back. When a sound hits flexible material such as branches, the material vibrates and the sound is transformed into other forms of energy. A thick row of trees can block as much as 15 decibels of sound. That's almost like wearing a pair of earplugs, but you have something beautiful to look at instead of uncomfortable foam in your ears.
Trees are basically nature's Swiss Army knife, shade, AC, and noise-canceling headphones. Like urban areas with no trees are literal heat islands, where it feels like you're walking on the surface of a microwave pizza. Toss in a few oaks and suddenly your electric bill drops and your street feels less like a frying pan. And the sound barrier thing, genius. It's like having a green wall that turns car horns into leaf rustles. Beats foam earplugs, plus squirrels come included.
The root system of trees holds soil in place during heavy rainstorms, preventing erosion, flooding, and mudslides, keeping people and buildings safe. Trees improve water quality too, as their root systems help to filter impurities and retain water within the soil. This allows for water tables to be recharged, with less water ultimately ending up in sewers and diminishing the amount of stormwater carrying pollutants to the ocean. A single 100-foot tall tree can take as much as 11,000 gallons of water out of the soil during its growing season, releasing the water as healthy oxygen and clean water vapor. That means 20 million trees could filter a staggering 220 billion gallons. That's enough to fill more than 300,000 Olympic swimming pools. Humans inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. Trees do exactly the opposite by absorbing and storing carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, which produces and releases oxygen as a byproduct. Excess carbon dioxide is building up in our atmosphere, strengthening the greenhouse effect and contributing to global warming. The more trees the Earth has, the more carbon dioxide is absorbed and mitigated. The amount of oxygen produced by a tree depends on several factors, including the species of tree, its health, and the ambient temperature. However, some typical calculations are that a single mature tree can absorb carbon dioxide at a rate of 48 pounds per year and release enough oxygen back into the atmosphere to support 2 humans. 1 acre of trees annually consumes the same amount of carbon dioxide equivalent to driving an average car for 26,000 miles. If we assume that an acre has roughly 300 trees, then 20 million new trees could consume the carbon dioxide equivalent of a new car driving over 1.7 billion miles annually.
Okay, so trees aren't just pretty scenery. They're basically Earth's plumbing, HVAC, and lungs rolled into one. Holding back mudslides, filtering stormwater, that's superhero level multitasking. And the whole one tree supports 2 humans with oxygen stat. Wild. Makes you realize we're all kind of roommates with oaks and pines. 20 million trees sucking up the carbon of 1.7 billion car miles. That's like erasing the daily commute, if your commute happened to be to the moon and back twice.
Last but not least, in addition to carbon dioxide, trees absorb other potentially harmful pollutants, such as sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. The canopies of trees act as a physical filter, trapping particulates of dust, pollen, smoke, and smog. A single mature tree removes up to 2.2 pounds every year, which means 20 million could remove up to 44 million pounds. And that's not all. Studies have also shown that the dust level in the air can be as much as 75% lower on the sheltered side of a tree as compared to the windward side. No one, and we mean no one, likes dust in the air. So do yourself and your neighbors a favor and plant some trees or donate a few dollars to teamtrees.org and clean the air for yourself and generations to come. In July of 2019, a Swiss study stated that if we plant enough trees, we can stop or at least put a serious dent in climate change, which is why we're committed to helping TeamTrees.org's mission to plant 20 million new trees by 2020. The infographic show is getting involved, and you should too. Every donation of $1 equals a new tree planted. So become part of something huge with real benefits and show the world that the YouTube community can come together and do something incredible. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and be part of the movement to plant 20 million new trees by going to teamtrees.org. And if you can't donate yourself, share this and other videos, and let's get your mom, dad, aunt, best friend, and everyone else involved.
Think about it. Every tree is like a living air purifier, traffic cop for rainwater, therapist for your blood pressure, and a rent-free apartment for half the animal kingdom. That's a resume LinkedIn would crash over. 20 million trees isn't just planting seeds, it's building the world's biggest insurance policy against climate chaos, pollution, and, well, human short-sightedness. Infographics Show made a great video, and the link is in the description. Next time we're diving into something wildly different but just as fascinating, you'll see. Stay nerdy.